The silver market is quite wobbly at the moment. Silver's price is stabilizing to some degree. As I record this video, it's up slightly. But nonetheless, I think there's more movement that we could see to the downside. We should be ready for $20 silver in the coming weeks ahead, given the indicators that are about. I'll explain why as we explore. Silver is a metal that certainly has disappointed some and also provided an opportunity for others to buy more at this time. When the premiums are low and the price is low, that's really the time to buy. That's for sure. If you can get a grip on it, that is the thing to understand. And I think most folks that are watching this channel do understand that, although there are others that are disappointed and discouraged. I'm encouraging you not to be, because you never know. The proof is in the pudding in this regard. Silver is a metal that has moved dramatically one way or the other, and it's interesting and fascinating to see the sentiment that occurs during that time. Because one thing we know for sure is that the proof is certainly in the sentiment, no matter what direction it's going. I have seen folks make predictions very much to the downside whenever we have seen silver move dramatically in one direction, down. We've seen people predict, well, silver's going to fall dramatically, and we're talking down to $14 an ounce I've seen recently. It's interesting how psychology plays. So when sentiment is down, that tends to move the price down too. The markets react to sentiment, to psychology. That's the biggest driver, I think, in the silver market. That's one reason why I think we should be prepared for $20 silver. I didn't think we'd see it fall below $22.50, honestly. But now there is good reasons why it could even fall greater than that. And I'm going to explain. There's an article on FX Street that talks about this. And it's quite remarkable to see the shift in focus. We've got a couple of things, such as employment data that's come out recently, and that is, quote, upbeat, like the JOLTS job opening report. And, what about these data that are being released? Another employment report is going to be coming out today. But, there are the chefs at the Cook the Books Club, which I used to kind of balk at that kind of an idea that the numbers are being kind of fixed or put in there, because you can make any kind of statistics, say whatever you want, and justify them to meet an agenda. And I think there is an agenda involved, especially now more than ever. I really used to not believe that some of these organizations, like the Bureau of Labor Statistics, are supposed to be independent, but I think they're far from it these days. But nonetheless, another proof of that is these numbers get revised downwards. But as jobs continue to grow and get bigger, according to what they tell us, well, that just means that we're going to see more and more downward pressure for silver. Now, that shouldn't be the case, and I'll tell you why. Because the more jobs that are out there, that means the economy is recovering, right, or strong. A strong economy should lead to more economic activity, greater velocity of money. That money will be used for things such as electronics and other items that involve this metal right here, silver. And when you have more silver being in demand, that means it should cause the price to go up. But what about silver? The price is down, and it's following copper. Copper's price is down too. Those two metals you should watch together. I've done a video about that before, but it's a good reminder to watch these metals for sentiment, which means if they're both down, maybe these economic numbers aren't telling us the full story. We also have a high dollar index. The dollar is rising, folks. It is now at a 107, at least as of the recording of this video. And that has climbed to an 11-month high with higher than expected job vacancies. The 10-year U.S. Treasury yields jumped to near 4.75%. And so those are the things that are kind of putting pressure on the precious metals, and especially silver. Gold, for all intents and purposes, has held its own, but silver is suffering because of it. But it provides an opportunity. It provides an opportunity to go beast mode, if you can, on buying your silver. Now, what does that mean? It means, if you have disposable income, well, take advantage of the dips and buy accordingly. There's plenty of different options out there. If you are a pure stacker, I encourage you to buy smart. Use your intelligence. Find the lowest cost and the most liquid piece of silver that you can find out there. That's the pure stacker play in buying your silver. Nonetheless, that's the way we should be looking at this as an opportunity as we prepare for this $20 silver. Why $20? Well, that's kind of the according to some of the technical analysis of this report here, and they're saying that there is a couple of different things on the technical side, including a breakdown of the head and shoulders pattern that we're seeing here. But more importantly, there's two other factors in that regard that are kind of moving this. And some of you have mentioned this in the comments section of my videos and why you're thinking even below $20 silver could be coming because of this. That is the assets trading below the 200-day exponential moving average, which indicates that the long-term trend is bearish. How long is that? It could be a couple of months. The other reason why I think it could be at least through next month, I'll tell you about that momentarily. The other technical aspect here is the relative strength index, which is known as the RSI, and that has slipped into the bearish range as well, and that warrants more downside for silver. But you know what? We must stay together and be up in arms royally in this type of situation, because this is a situation where we see that silver is consolidating on these numbers, and we know that this is really only temporary. This too shall pass. You've heard me use that phrase a couple of times here. And as we press forward through all of the bullish factors that are going to come into play in the mid to long term, then this is really a gift. And you don't want to kick a gift unicorn in the mouth, that's for sure. Or a horse, or a bull, or a bear, or a lion. That's for sure. So what is the other factor that we have to think about in terms of $20 silver? Why this is something we should almost expect? Well, because the Federal Reserve is not going to have any meetings until the end of November, towards the end of around the 19th and 20th of November. And they are expected to do one of two things. They are going to either continue to pause and not raise interest rates, but not lower them and stay where they're at, which are high. They're as high as they've been for 40 years or what have you, or at least 30 years. This is the time where, even though the interest rates are not exploding like extremely high, they are uncomfortably high for some. But they're feeling that they can do that. They can keep them where they're at for a while now. Or they could vote to raise rates another quarter point. If they do that, watch out. Gold and silver could break through some of the support that we've been talking about here. We're talking about going back into the teens again, pre-pandemic levels for silver. That's a possibility. Should you lose heart on silver? No, you should not. It should be a valiant effort to continue to press on with stacking silver in that case, because that's what it's about. Understanding that the value is different than the price. And, a lot of the silver market is based off of derivatives and trading and sentiment in the paper marketplace, not so much the physical marketplace. And thankfully, most of you know not to sell your silver when the price is low. If you have to sell your silver when the price is low, you're not doing it right. I hate to be so blunt about it, because you should have a backup of these on hand, dollars or whatever currency you're holding in your country, so that in case of emergency, you don't need to spend this. It's about holding on to as much of these to protect your ultimate insurance, which is silver. Because in a market like this, well, We're not in an SHTF scenario, that's for sure. We're not in a scenario where there's an economic collapse happening. That's not going to be happening anytime soon. We are in a situation where even though it may be somewhat propped up as being in a good place economically, we know there are cracks in the economy. We know that hard times are coming, and that's going to be sooner or later reflected in silver's price. So therefore, it's incumbent upon us to be wise in our stacking journey and to hold on. Hold on. We don't need to hold on for dear life. We just need to just hold on. Period. HO is the two letters I want you to put down in the comments section. We don't have to panic. We don't have to hold on for dear life. We just got to hold on. And why do we hold on? Because in case of emergencies, we have this, which that is losing value because of inflation. And sooner or later, that's going to be reflected firmly in the silver's price. In fact, I think to some extent it is now, because when you look at it in perspective, silver's not doing too bad, all things considered, especially from whence we came out of the pandemic, where silver's what price was before the COVID-19 situation and where it is now. And how it's held its own now. Even if it goes down to $20 an ounce, we'll just still have room to move. What is my feeling towards the end of the year? I think we'll find out as inflation continues to be persistent. We very well could see inflation stay where it is, go up or down slightly, which means that the Fed doesn't really have much of a handle on it. If they don't have a handle on inflation, that means that no matter what they do, that's going to move into a potential stagflation scenario. And then people will realize, you know what? I think it's time for us to give silver a chance again. That's all we're saying, is give silver a chance. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch this video, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.